Hey guys, Chef Wu Can here today. How are you? I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Today's Sunday. It's a beautiful, relaxing day today. And so I want to bring this particular dish by request. Joe Cropel, here it is. This is for you. This is going to be hot and sour soup. Now, I bet you everybody has tried hot and sour soup once in a lifetime, whether you guys went to a restaurant or ordered in a takeout place. And so most people like the combination of hot and sour. And so, but in terms of the ingredients used, you might think it's kind of special or unusual. It's kind of hard to find, but really it's fairly easy to make. All right. Basically, the hot is using a spicy kind of sauce. The sour is you can use like a black vinegar, or if you don't have available in your neighborhood store, regular white vinegar. You'll need some soy sauce, whether it's Kikkoman or another brand, some sesame oil, some Shaoxing wine. Now, if you don't have Shaoxing wine, you can use regular white wine. That adds a sweetness to it. White pepper, or if you don't have white pepper, black pepper is fine. And in terms of the ingredients, we're going to use fresh garlic, fresh ginger that has been preserved in Shaoxing wine. Because when you buy ginger root, it's usually a big piece, and you're not going to use that whole root for that one dish that you make. So you may leave it in the refrigerator, but it's going to dry out, then it wrinkles, then you got to throw it out. So this is a way to cut up the remainder of the ginger, stick it in a container, add some Shaoxing wine or white wine, and cover it, and you get a longer usage out of it over a long period of time. We have these lily flowers. They're unopened. It signifies wealth. And in this dish, during the Lunar New Year, it's a very popular soup to get. We have shredded bamboo shoots. This is from the can. So you may not use that much. So what you're going to do is pretty much take the remainder, put it in a freezer in a vacuum sealed bag, and basically freeze it for another day. Fresh scallion, which will give it a nice presentation. A hot pepper, this is from the garden, and we'll use white mushrooms that have been sliced up. I have a dehydrated shiitake mushroom that has been reconstituted with water, and we're going to put in tofu. Tofu, in any supermarket right now, you can probably buy tofu. You'll have a choice between soft, medium, and firm, and I tend to go with firm because it won't break apart when you stir it. All right. In terms of the broth, we're going to basically use 6 cups of water. Each cup here is for 2 cups, so 3 of these. And we have a slurry solution. This is a combination of cornstarch and water together. And this will thicken up the soup. Basically right now, soup, you want it to be more silky. I mean, I know wonton soup is just the broth and wonton, but with this kind of soup and chicken corn soup, you want to have the broth to be a little bit silky in texture. Have a little substance, you know, and that's what you use is the cornstarch to thicken it up. And obviously, we want to add egg ribbons. So we have 2 eggs that we beat it. And once we get everything together in a circular motion, we'll get the broth going, and then we'll drizzle the egg in, and it has to be very hot, and then it will form nice egg ribbons. Okay. Another type of mushroom is called wood ears. Now, this may seem strange. It has nothing to do with ears. It just looks like it. but basically it's a form of a fungus, which, as you know, mushroom is a fungus, and it's dried. So we reconstitute it with water, and some restaurants, some takeout places add it, so it just gives it a little more texture. All right. So you're gonna get the hot, salty, and sour flavor. So you have that combination of salty and sour and sweet. You're gonna get texture with the wood ears, the tofu, the bamboo shoots, and the lily flowers. And you're gonna get the body of the egg with the cornstarch. And you're gonna get the spicy with the spicy sauce, with the soy sauce, and the white vinegar or black vinegar. And tofu is going to be all added together. And in case you want it to be a little darker, we have Chinese dark soy sauce. Now, as I said before, don't be misguided by the word soy sauce. You may have a little bit of flavor in soy sauce, but the whole intentions of the dark soy sauce is the coloring. So if you want it to be a little darker, having it a little darker makes it look richer, and it's a nice presentation. All right. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to heat up the water, 6 cups. All right. We're going to get the water boiling, and then we're going to add the slurry solution to get it thick. All right. Now you may not want to do it initially. You may want to do it at the end. But I'm doing it initially so that we'll get that step out of the way. So all we're really doing is just blending all the flavors together. Okay. We got to get a tasty teaspoon, because with anything, a recipe is one thing, but basically tasting it is another. So the recipe may not require as much soy sauce. You may want to add a little bit more. So it's important that you taste it. And if you want that combination balance of salt and sweet, this is the way to be able to do it, by tasting. Okay. So we're going to start with preparing some of the items. So we have the reconstituted shiitake mushrooms. Today, shiitake mushrooms are very expensive. You can blame COVID probably. And so what we're going to do is we're going to slice it up, because the bamboo shoots are sliced up already. And the water lilies are sliced up already too. So might as well continue with that. And basically, let me show you. It's the cutting technique. I'm using a cleaver. Cleaver is one piece of high carbon steel, right? So you don't have to worry about the handle falling off as chopping. We're going to lean our fingers, curl it up like a bear claw. We're going to press on the shiitake mushroom firmly on the chopping board so it doesn't slip from under us. We're going to lean the cleaver away from our fingers, but we're going to tuck our fingers inside like this, and we're going to lean the blade against our knuckle, and then we're going to push down and forward. Okay, so we cut up the one shiitake mushroom, we'll put it together. We'll take the garlic. Now, in this, we'll add a lot of garlic. I like a lot of garlic flavor, and garlic is good for you too. Now, you may use garlic powder if you don't have fresh garlic, but with Chef Wu, if I can get fresh, I'll use it. As a last resort, I'll use the garlic powder. Hold the cleaver flat and just slam it. And then use the front to push it to the side. This is better than the garlic press. Alright, so we'll put it together, and then we'll hold it down as best we can, and we'll just go chop it. Okay, so the garlic is ready. Oops. Now the ginger, we'll peel the skin off using a potato peeler. Peel as much as you can. Okay, so we'll get the peeled garlic skin. Throw it up. Now we'll do the same thing with the garlic, with the ginger. Hold the garlic gently down as best you can, and lean the cleaver against your knuckle, but away from your fingers, and push down and forward. Move your fingers back a little bit to guide it, so you can cut it. Okay. And then we'll take the sliced pieces and we'll slice it again. You basically really want to try to have uniformity. So if everything is sliced and shredded, you want to basically do the same. Good presentation. Okay. Now the scallion, we'll rinse quickly. And this will give it some flavor, onion flavor, as well as the appearance. All right, so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to try to dice it. Hold it down. And you want to get both the white and the green press down and forward. Lean it against your knuckle, but away from the blade, away from your fingers. So we have a green hot pepper. We'll use that, but we're also going to use the red chili flakes paste, because it does say hot and sour, so you want to have a little hot and sour. Now, if you don't want hot and sour, you don't have to put the sour part in to make it spicy. But these days, everybody wants a little spice. Okay. Now the tofu, all right? We already drained the water from the tofu. Now this is firm. Now if you try firm, you may like it, you may want medium. It's really up to you. And what we're going to do is cut it in half and we'll cube it. Okay? And then we'll cube it again. This would be the only one that you would really want to cube. To shred it, it wouldn't be proper with tofu. You want to get nice chunks in. I used half of it. Obviously, for all those that love tofu, you may want to use the whole thing. And if you do, you got to consider how much broth you're making. All right. So. Alright, so in terms of quantity, I used about 6 large white mushrooms and I diced it. You may want to use more, okay? It was one shiitake mushroom that had to be reconstituted. Right? This is half of a tofu. 2 scallions chopped up. 1 hot pepper. 6 garlic cloves. 1 piece of ginger. A handful of the dried daylily flour. But obviously this is very more of an Asian restaurant, so you don't really need to add this, but we have it, so we're going to add it anyway. A handful of shredded bamboo shoots. A 1/4 cup of soy sauce. 2 eggs blended together. Slurry sauce, combination of water, 50-50. Stir it, get a nice slurry solution. This will act as a thickener. Wood ears, another fungus, mushroom from the mushroom family. About a handful, but you have to add water to reconstitute it. The chili sauce, I may use a teaspoon. You may want to use 2 teaspoons. That's really up to you. You like hot and spicy, you can add a lot. The white vinegar or the black vinegar, that's to taste. We'll usually use about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of each, one of the other. Sesame oil to taste. Shaoxing wine to give it sweetness. That's up to you. Generally speaking, as a rule, we try to use like 2 tablespoons. White pepper, it's your desire. White pepper is much stronger than dark pepper, so it's really up to you how you want to have it. All right? So, we'll move this to the side. We'll bring forward So we have 6 cups of water here. Now, in terms of cornstarch, we may have to add some more. It really depends on how thick you want it. But remember, if you have it thick, don't worry about it because the mushrooms will water. And that will add more moisture to the broth. So, always blend it with the water. You don't want the slurry solution to stay on the bottom because then it will eventually stick and then burn. And I'm doing this because this would be the first thing that we can get out of the way to get the consistency of the broth. But you may want to do this at the end. So, I don't know if you can see it, but it's getting a little thick. We may want to add some cornstarch a little later, depending on, so we can always add. Alright. So, you don't have to worry about overcooking these wood ears. Alright, so let me drain the water. So we can put it in. We could add the shiitake mushroom. We could add the white mushroom. We could add the ginger. We could add the garlic. We could add the jalapeno peppers. And we'll add the lilies. So we'll just stir that up. We can always add the tofu. Now, your version of hot and sour may vary differently than my version. It's all really based on what you prefer. Okay. Me personally, I don't really like it too hot. We'll add the bamboo shoots. And the scallion will be used to garnish it at the end. Okay, so now let's add the hot sauce. I only want to use about 3/4 of a tablespoon. I am not one that loves hot and spicy all the time. I'll add the soy sauce. This is about 1/4 cup. I'll add the white vinegar. Most of you will have white vinegar. But then I'll also add a little bit of black vinegar in case you have access to an Asian store. And we'll combine it together. Now it may seem like a lot of soy sauce, but you're dealing with 6 cups of water. So you don't want it bland. Now we'll add some Shaoxing wine. Oh no, sesame oil. A lot of restaurants, they don't put sesame oil on. Shaoxing wine. In the restaurants, they try to cut down as best they can. So pretty much they would just add soy sauce, vinegar, and coloring. They'll add the tofu, the mushroom, and that's about it. Basically, you know, they're catering to the client's taste buds. Alright. Now we can take a little sip. And we'll see how it's still kind of runny, so we may want to add a little bit more cornstarch. It's delicious. So I think that you know what? I'll add a little sugar. A little bit more sweetness. So you could always adjust. There's no problem adjusting the flavor. So I may want to add a little bit more, or a little bit, a little bit more, to get that robust flavor. All right, so the soup consistency is not bad, but it's still kind of watery to me, so I want to thicken it up a little bit. This should be a hearty flavor. This would be a good recipe when the weather gets a little cooler. Obviously, we're a little bit early, but at least you'll be able to see it on YouTube. We're going to add a little color too. A little bit of dark soy sauce. Then we'll add the white pepper. let's taste it. You may want to add a little bit more soy sauce. Now let's taste it now. Delicious. Okay. So we have our egg. I'm gonna whisk it. Now the soup has to be very hot. By whisking, you're really breaking down the fibers of the egg. So in a circular motion, get this going circularly. We're going to slowly drizzle the egg. And the heat is going to cook And there you have it. Hot and sour soup. Homemade. Okay, we're going to shut it off. I'm going to scoop a little bit. I'm going to garnish it with some scallion. And there you have it. 1, 2, 3. No mystery ingredients: vinegar, soy sauce, sesame oil, white wine or Shaoxing wine, white pepper or black pepper. It really depends on what you have available. I don't want you to go out of your way. Whatever's available in the supermarket. And we have it. And we're going to taste it now. Delicious. So, Joe, I hope this helped you out. It's delicious. It's homemade. You save around $5, I guess, for a small. It's even better. So, if you guys like this recipe and you like the way I demonstrated it, please click on to subscribe. Many people new to YouTube may not know what subscribe means. There's no paid subscription or whatever. It's basically by pressing it, you'll be added to the database. So the next time I have another video, you'll be notified via email. And I always look at the comments. And Joe, as you can tell, it took a while, but I actually made the hot and sour soup. But give me a thumbs up if you like it. And always add a comment. If you have a special request, I'll try to accommodate you. And, you know, with this pandemic, I've gotten to other areas So I have an Etsy page. It's a Chef Wu Can collection.etsy.com. And basically I'll have if you like hot and spicy condiments right now and still barbecuing outside or grilling, it's a Chef Wu Can collection.etsy.com. I'll have crunchy garlic chili oil relish. Many people love the chili oil, but then they forget about the relish. But the relish just adds more substance, to your meal. It gives you that extra crunch. And I use a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of Szechuan peppercorns, a little sesame seeds, and obviously crunchy garlic. And it gives you a nice texture when you eat your entire dish. And you can put it in soups, you can put it on pizza, hamburgers, anything that you like spicy. And then I have a special raw organic spicy honey. You get the benefit of the honey with a little honeycomb, as well as the relish, the chili relish also. My website is www.chefwucan.com, and I'm a food blogger and a food critic. And so I've tried to do my best in terms of evaluating restaurants and looking out for you, the viewer, to make sure you're getting a good deal, and to let you know what's happening in other parts of the country, as well as trying different venues in terms of now I'm going out to certain takeout places, ordering the food, and it's outside of my comfort zone in terms of Asian food. So just the other day I went for Seoul fried food, and I had fried catfish nuggets, I had fried chicken wings, and fried chicken livers. Fried chicken livers I had down in Louisiana. I loved it, so I thought I'd try it, and it's pretty damn good. All right, so I'm trying all these different these avenues, and on my YouTube I have one of my friend's son who wanted to make breakfast for me, so I went to visit him, tasted his breakfast, and he's only 12 years old, and he did a fantastic job, and people loved it. So I'm trying different avenues in terms of different kinds of ways to bring food to you, and I'll probably trying more foods that from takeout places that may not be exactly Asian, and maybe I'll try frozen foods, and we'll see what happens. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you stay protected with this Delta variant, and whether everybody's right to a certain degree, but when it comes to your family, you always want to protect them the best you can. So go with your heart. If you feel that your family doesn't need to get vaccinated, I respect that. But I have to say that the science is not 100% proof. Obviously, these new variants that are coming out, we don't know 100% of all the things that may happen, but let's just say that if you did get vaccinated and you did get COVID, maybe you'll have a fever, nausea, fatigue, but you won't end up in the hospital, maybe hooked up to a respirator and grasping for a breath of fresh air. That's the last thing you really want to happen. Or take the risk of not vaccinating, and you may be protected because you had it before. I'm not saying that that's wrong. You could be right. So you can take your chances, and wish everybody the best. Whatever decision you guys make, it's a matter of your view. But I personally, my family's vaccinated. We have a little bit more in terms of sleeping a little bit easier. So enough of that. Try to enjoy your weekend and have a great week. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.